Welcome to the Ravens Space on YouTube. My name is Jason, and this is Ravens Space Daily, where we talk about Baltimore Ravens news every single weekday. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. We have 3 news stories for you guys. We're going to hop right in, but first I want to say please subscribe to the Ravens Space on YouTube for more great Baltimore Ravens content. Also, check out our Patreon page where you guys can support us and keep this content free forever. Thank you to our Patreon subscribers that we already have. And then I want to make 2 announcements for you guys. Later this week, we do have the podcast coming. We're going to post a video podcast on YouTube and on the Ravens Space website. We also are going to put on every single place you can get podcasts if you would rather listen to it. For our Patreon subscribers, you'll get both forms, the audio and the visual on your feed for Patreon, and you'll also get it early. And that's the first update. The second update is that we have revamped RavensSpace.com. We now have a bevy of writers who write for the Ravens Space, and they provide a new article every week. So we're going to have at least 4 feature articles coming every single week. Also, for our Patreon subscribers, you have Patreon only articles. They're going to be high quality articles that only you guys can access on the website. We're going to start doing that the next month. You can go to Ravens Space right now and check out what we have, and I promise you it'll always get better. Now let's hop on in to the news stories of the day. The first news is about Michael Campanaro, and it's that he has passed his physical and he will come off the PUP list. For you guys who don't know, PUP, physically unable to perform, is a list that they put you on. And you can't play for the first 6 weeks of the season if you're on this list when the season starts. But however, Campanaro currently does not have to deal with that. He has passed his test. Now this is a good thing for Campanaro mostly, and also for Ravens fans. Ravens fans are very split on Campanaro. Some of them think that, you gotta give him more time. Some of them want him off the team because he's an injury issue every single year. I fall on the side of the injury issue. He does have potential. He is right now the Ravens' best returner, in my opinion, but I do not think the Ravens want to deal with his injury issues. Every single year is going to be something, and this year was just the latest injury that has happened. Hopefully he can stay healthy, but this is the last year of his contract. And so if it doesn't go well this season, the Ravens may just cut him and try to pursue a different answer at returner and at slot receiver. Good news, he's off the list. He's going to have to compete with Griffin III to make the team. But also, because of the signing of Macklin, he'll probably have to make the team as a returner because that slot role is mostly filled out. So again, good news for Mike. Hopefully he makes a difference for the Ravens this year. Let me know in the comments below, how do you feel about Campanaro? I would love to hear you guys' opinion. And the next story talks about a signing. The Ravens sign ex-Giant Larry Donnell, the tight end, to a contract following Crockett Gilmore's injury. This is a great signing in my opinion. It's a non-guaranteed signing. It's a very cheap signing. And also, it really does give another big, strong body at that tight end position. For you guys who don't remember Larry Donnell, he was a player that was coming through the ranks. He was on fire when he was younger. And by on fire, I mean people were looking at him thinking he was going to be the next great tight end because he was making plays for Eli Manning at the top of the ball. He was jumping over players, being stronger than players. But then he just petered out due to his lack of route running skills and different things like that. Hopefully, he's improved on some of those issues that he's had. He also got injured a couple of times for the Giants. So, again, that's an issue. But I think if you have him and then you have Crockett Gilmore, those are 2 big, strong receivers that really do make defenses afraid, because now you have a deep threat and a red zone threat all in one because of their size and their speed. So I'm super excited about this. I think that this would be great. More competition for other tight ends is always a good thing. And I really do think that he has a shot at making the team. And then we're going to piggyback into the next story, which also talks about tight ends and cornerback. So in the press conference that John Harbaugh gave, Crockett Gilmore and Maurice Kennedy's injuries were revealed as cartilage tears. John Harbaugh said these cartilage tears were minor injuries. And so that makes me excited because minor injuries is all I want to hear. I really thought that it might be more trouble for Gilmore, and which is not a good thing because I think he is talented and can make this team. For Kennedy, I was saddened to hear about that because he was primed, in my opinion, to get some playing time this year, especially that slot corner position with the injury of Tavon Young. And hopefully that he can come back, and hopefully Crockett can come back and play in training camp. And get better. Take it easy. It's so scary how much the Ravens get injured. It feels like it happens every single year. And so John's going to take it slow with these players, just like he's going to take it slow with Joe Flacco. And these players will give everything they have to perform at a high level. Now, to clarify, John Harbaugh said these typically are not serious. Typically are not serious, which means he doesn't really know, but that usually these things are just minor things. So hopefully that is the case. Again, I'm more worried for Crockett than for Kennedy just because of Crockett's injury history. But hopefully he can play this whole season and be a great target for Joe Flacco. And hopefully Kennedy doesn't hurt his ability to play after this injury. Thank you guys so much for watching until the end. Now we have the question of the day, which comes from you guys from the RavensSpace mailbag. If you want to send your question in, please send an email to TheRavensSpace@gmail.com. I'll put it in the description below so you guys can just go there and ask me a question. And this question comes from Pete. And Pete asks, are there any other quarterback prospects other than Colin Kaepernick for the Ravens to sign? Thank you so much, Pete. There are some out there, not a lot of big names, names that most people won't know if they don't follow the NFL avidly. And in the case of Olsen, the quarterback that was signed and then let go, you know, he came from the Arena Football League, so which is whatever, crazy. But other than Kaepernick, there is one player out there that no one's been calling. And Steve Bisciotti even said that they have mentioned him in conversations, Robert Griffin III. And I don't think he's a good quarterback. I think he's less talented than Colin Kaepernick, which I don't think Colin Kaepernick's a terrible quarterback. I just think that the fanfare that you get with a Colin Kaepernick versus the play that he'll give you is uneven, and I wouldn't do anything like that. RG3 is the other option out there. RG3 did not play terrible last year all the time. He did play terrible a lot of the time, but there was some flashes out there of the old RG3 before he had that knee injury. If those are the two best, in my opinion, those are the two best quarterbacks in the market, you pass. You keep the guys that you have, and you hope Joe Flacco doesn't get hurt. I am worried about the backup for the Ravens right now because of the 5 interception day, but I just you gotta go what you have. Will Colin Kaepernick or RG3 be better than him? Probably, but not by that much. And also, you don't have to answer questions about Ryan Mallett or, you know, Joe Flacco. You do have to answer questions about Colin Kaepernick and RG3. That's why I would stay the course and keep what I have and try to make them better. Thank you so much for your question, Pete. And that has been the end of today's episode. Thank you guys so much for asking me questions and watching the episode. We have 4 more episodes this week of RavensSpace Daily. We also released the RavensSpace mailbag for you guys to watch, so please go check it out. Thank you guys so much. Please subscribe to RavensSpace on YouTube for more great information about the Baltimore Ravens. Also, check out our Patreon page, check out our t-shirt store, and check out the RavensSpace website, ravensspace.com. It's awesome. Thank you guys so much, and go Ravens.